going on, world? It's NRW, KayFabeyBaby, NRW Ring Generals Podcast, coming back with the Dynasty, y'all. I got my Dynasty, my Trios champions. F the Bang Bang Gang, although salute to the Bang 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 Gang. This is my Bang Bang Gang. I got Webster Style. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What's going on, everybody?
And of course, my man Sean Mongold with that Weeabooty booty.
Hey.
Is it Weeabooty booty? Did I say
we
it
have
right?
booties. Yeah, we have booties.
What's going on, gentlemen, man? We are coming off a Dynasty weekend. We're establishing our Dynasty here as always, but we got to talk these results, man. As you see, probably by my background, I'm happy, but I'm upset that I didn't also watch it. So I only kind of caught the aftermath following on the socials. I'm going to need to finally check it out. Sean, I know you probably checked in with it, but after the last pay-per-view event that AEW had, and just because also just the things that were going on this past weekend, I was about to pull the trigger, but then I was kind of tired, as I told you earlier, coming from Hagerstown, Maryland. I was like, I don't want to order it and then not give it to Swerve and get the Swerve again, because I felt we were deserving of the win the last event. They swerved us. Swerve didn't get it, and I didn't want to be played again, but then my man got the championship, so I'm gonna have to catch it in the aftermath. And also I'm curious about the Ospreay versus Danielson. I heard that was a classic, a clinic. Let's talk about it, man. That's what I want to talk about. To pull from Cody Rhodes.
We can run down
let's get into AEW Dynasty.
Yeah, man. I don't know, Webster, did you watch?
No, I didn't get a chance to. Like I said, it was a busy weekend for me too. So
Gotcha. So essentially, they had the 0 hour, which wasn't, I think
those matches didn't really kind of grab me.
The Trent match was kind of meh. They just kind of solidified him as a heel. I think they really missed their mark on the best friends kind of heel turn thing. They were really popping when Inner Circle was still around in the very beginning, and Santana Ortiz was feuding with Trent and old boy Matt Taylor, Chuck Taylor, sorry, not Matt Taylor. But I think injuries just kind of plagued them, and then OC kind of taking the forefront with championship, and them kind of being the lackeys for OC for the the more than sense. But I think it a little too late. There was a couple cool chants. There were we want Sue chants and shit like that. So that's their mom, with the van. But yeah, it was kind of lackluster. The other one was OC and Shibata versus somebody. I can't remember, but OC and Shibata won. I think it was Shane Taylor's group. Shane and Lee. And they've been feuding for a little bit, which yet again, they could have had Trent do something here and nothing happened. So there's little I love this card overall. This is definitely B+ A card, but there's still some things that they're missing. Right? This AEW tickles my wrestling fancy. But it doesn't tickle my, obviously we'll say it, the storyline. It doesn't tickle that fan. I remember the matches because I just watched it last night, but in a couple weeks, I don't know if I'm going to remember them outside of the Will Ospreay match. But anyway, the only thing that really did matter to me for the 0 hour was the trios champion, the unification. It was Bang Bang Gang versus Acclaimed, which off jump, it was just a little weird. Max had a freestyle. He did his freestyle and it was a little awkward. And then he did an acapella thing. And then he essentially kind of almost ended it with you're going to have the taste of my dick. But oh boy, what's his name? Not Max, the other one, Anthony Bowens, grabbed the mic before he could say dick. It was just really weird. He was just kind of
stale a little bit. It's because it's kind of the same a lot now that we're getting a little bit over it. Because I kind of feel that in different ways.
Yeah, I want to believe that he's fucking up the flow on purpose, and I want to say deliberately fucking like making it worse and like edgier, trying to be like this edgy edgelord kind of person because he's starting to get a little bit more, back in the very beginning when he made his comments, I think about Julia Hart and someone else. I can't remember. So he's starting to get a little edgier. So I think they're like possibly doing a heel turn, or some kind of breakdown. But yeah, like the match was okay. It wasn't anything to fucking drive home about. They made Billy Gunn look like a fucking superhero, like a fucking animal, which was crazy. Because he's 60-year-old man. We shouldn't be kicking out at one in certain instances, but they gave it to him.
Hey, he still look good, man, to be that age.
I know.
Respect.
Hey, not taking anything away from him, but like just like the booking of how they're like, hey, yeah, you can go ahead and kick out a one after getting hit with a baseball bat. And it's just like, you should really give that to some of the younger guys. But anyway, I digress. So of course, Bang Bang Gang won. Now they have both the titles, which I think we thought that too. We kind of unanimously thought that because it just makes the most sense. They're super over. Acclaim's gotten kind of stale. I think they pushed them so hard for merch sales. Yeah. And now it's kind of died out a little bit, So we'll see what happens. I think there's, like I said, breakdown of the Acclaimed. I don't know. I don't know if they betray Daddy Ass or Daddy Ass betrays them and it just falls apart. But I definitely want to see Anthony Bowens gonna get a singles run.
I agree.
Not so much Max.
What he can do.
Yeah, like not so much Max. Max is Anthony has the energy. I think he has the ring skill. He has a good look. So I really I hope they allow that. And I hope that's what they're aiming for.
I think Anthony is like one of those people that's like a pure baby face. And that's why I really want to see him.
Agreed.
And I think that might be what they're doing is like they're making Max look like an asshole, kind of like this edgy edgelord trying to overcompensate by, because he got, betrayed by the Bang Bang Gang. And then Anthony's trying to rein him in. So I think there's going to be a split, Max turning heel, Anthony being a face, and they go at it, which is great. I mean, they've been a tag team forever since the beginning. Like, they're not twins, they're not brothers. You don't need to stretch this out. Just have the turn, have them get their singles thing going. It sucks because they're missing, some tag teams, but I just think it's the best route at the moment for them.
That'll take it shortly.
Yeah. And the first match of the actual pay-per-view, which I thought was crazy to put first, was Pac and Okada. Because
that was first?
Yeah, they had Pac and Okada go first in the pay-per-view, and it was insane. Like the level, like I said, like the level of wrestling in this pay-per-view was off the charts. Like never going to complain about that from this company, outside of a couple matches here and there. But, and like this is the first time they're meeting. I wish they would have hyped that up a little bit more. Like, oh, these guys have been all over, New Japan, Ring of Honor, in the Indies, in and out, for the past, decade or two, but they've never come, face to face until now. And give it something, give it a story. Pac is jealous of Okada, or Okada is jealous of Pac. Like, give it something, man. Just give it a little bit of a swing to it, and they just don't. But other than that, the intensity was there. Pac was there. Pac was great. Both of them looked amazing. Okada, healed it up with some, flicking off the crowd and shit like that instead of his typical fucking pose for the Rainmaker. And just doing some eye rakes and shit like that. And then at the end, the crowd was cheering Pac, even though Pac lost. So Okada obviously retained his championship belt. And everyone was just chanting, "He's our bastard." So it was nice to see that people are like super behind Pac. Because I know what's that?
No, I think the match went almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. It was a very long
pay-per-view.
But like, and so here's my thing though. Was that smart? Because a lot of people like I saw people like going like as the night went on and Will Ospreay went on, people were like, "Oh man, poor Swerve." And they were saying it because, like, how do you follow that? You know what I mean? So, like, same thing.
Right.
Like, if you open with a match like this, a 30-minute fucking just technical slobber knocker match that's entertaining as fuck, how do you follow this?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like and it goes back to like what we talked about WrestleMania last year when Rhea and Charlotte had that banger of a match, and we were expecting a banger from Bianca because we got one the year before with Bianca and Bailey, I think it was Mercedes, yes. And we didn't, because we had that Rhea and Charlotte banger.
Right.
So we had like this mold. And we're like, oh man, that was so entertaining. Like, this has to be just as entertaining or more. And then it wasn't. So you always get that, you know. But anyway, great match. Loved it. I hope Pac does get a good run. He's had just so many weird things with visa issues, injuries pop up, and it just sucks. And it really like stunts your momentum.
Right.
You know, like any one small wrong turn could just fuck your momentum up. So I hope P continues to be like on TV and like get somewhere near a title. You know, get Roddy's title since he retained, which we'll talk about that too. But you guys have any feelings on Pac or Okada?
I'm just glad, you know, I've seen like snippets. The one thing I'm glad about is that you actually saw the Okada they paid for. And why they paid the money for him, because before his whole trip to America now, my only real Okada is Clips New Japan. I've seen a couple of the Kenny Omega matches, and you know, look good. The dude that I saw come over here from when he did those couple bookings in TNA, and then when he started at Impact, AEW, I'm not impressed. I really wasn't impressed as someone who has a passing familiarity, but seeing this match, seeing the clips that I have and hearing people talk about it, I am happy for AEW that they did sign him. And if this is what they're going to get out of him, then okay, it was a good move. Yeah. So I'm happy about that. I always want these sort of acquisitions to go well.
Right. And I think, you know, I think what you're saying is the truth. Like, I think it's true because they put him as a heel and put him with the Young Bucks. So when he's with the Young Bucks, he doesn't really showcase Okada.
Right.
You know, he showcases this like heel version Okada with the Young Bucks, and so you don't really get to see his full talent. So when he's one-on-one without the Bucks, even ringside, like you get this version, which this is Okada of old. You know, like this was an amazing match. So I would definitely, you know, if you guys get a chance, go back. There's a couple matches I would say watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was great. I love that match. I love that roundup. Like I said, I wish there was a little bit of a story there, and like maybe this builds a story now, you know, because I would love to see them run it back, but I need them to make it a story, you know, like get Pac and what's the Death Triangle? Have Death Triangle go against, you know, the Elite, and just formulate that story of like Pac and Okada.
Right.
And I want them to focus on it hard. Not so much the Young Bucks. I don't give a shit about them, but focus on those two.
Well,
how you feel, Pat?
They are who they are.
Oh no, I don't have much to add to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, like I've been a fan of Pac, you know, like the Neville days and even before then, you know, and like he's never really got a shine. You know, he got like I think the 205 Live championship back in the E. But I don't think he's really done anything in AEW. You know, he's just kind of been thrown into different groups
for a minute.
Huh?
Didn't he have the international championship for a minute?
He might have had it for a little bit, but it wasn't that long. But I can't honestly remember. But yeah, moving on. The next match we had the House of Black versus the hodgepodge team of Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe. This is great. I love the House of Black. Their intros, bar none, man. Like no one tops their intro. I'm sorry.
I love their presentation, but how did because I caught it off of just the socials aftermath, what happened and little clips. Did they get? I feel like they got played dirty again, though. I don't know what. So how did it all?
No, I like this match. This match was really good. I mean, Briscoe's amazing. Copeland still is amazing. Eddie Kingston's amazing. Like when he's in these like group settings, I feel like you get a different Eddie Kingston. When you get Eddie Kingston singles, you get the machine gun chops and like the big chop things, and and
Chop
also
City.
and you also like he gets a little, worn out. You're one-on-one. You're the only one running around. You don't have tag options and things like that. So I think in like a tag or a group, he gets the opportunity to kind of chill and not like overexert himself. So I feel like he has a little bit more energy to do like these cooler spots, because there was like this really cool like coordinated spear effort where I think Copeland and Buddy Matthews were in the ring, and they kind of came from a turnbuckle, and he was at the turnbuckle in the ring, and then Briscoe and Kingston were on the opposite aprons of the turnbuckle, and then the other two House of Black members were also on the apron on the further side, and all of them hit the spear at the same time. So Copeland was in the ring hitting a spear on Buddy. I think Briscoe hit Malachi, and then Kingston hit Brody all on the apron at the same exact time. And it was a really cool spot. And there's a bunch of topes and things like that. And it was great spots, great wrestling. And they told a story. There was a story here. Copeland and Malachi never met each other in the ring. That whole match until the very, very end. Until the very end, they met, and then Malachi had the black mist, like the Julia special, and then sprayed mist in Edge's face, and then hit him with a black mass, and then pinned him.
Interesting.
So that creates a story.
Yeah,
so that is what I want to see. I want to see Malachi in singles, and this puts him in a good position to have a good long feud with Edge. Not Edge, Adam Copeland, my bad. I just wish Copeland, Cope. I wish Cope had like a more like structured like team, like faction to also help him instead of like this kind of like hodgepodge babyface, group. But I mean, that happens. But yeah, I loved everything about this. I love that they kept them separated for so long, because it was mainly Buddy Matthews and Copeland, and then Brody and Copeland, of course, because they've had their feuds, the past couple weeks. So I really enjoyed the story, like the in-ring story there. They had like a little package of like, how everything started and things like that, but it's not really that fully developed and like that big of a history. So they tried to do what they could with that, but like the in-ring story was great. And I think it's a good build up for something better.
Cool. What else we got, man?
I knew that with this happening, with House of Black winning, the next match was obviously decided, and that was Willow versus Julia Hart. I was just like, man, they had to give.
Okay. If they give one, that they have to take the other.
Yep. So they had.
Wasn't that y'all's prediction? Y'all were saying Willow, I think, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because I was like
Mercedes.
Yeah.
So and this was pretty predictable. I mean, wrestling, it wasn't that long of a match. It was great having Stokely on commentary. It was really funny. Julia's not a good wrestler, man. I'm sorry. People are like,
Alexa Bliss syndrome.
Exactly. Very good presentation, very good recorded promo, I will say. I don't know about live promo. They haven't really given her a live promo in a while. But I love everything, all the packages there except for, and like that's going to be experience and time, and she'll get better. But like there's just certain things you see like certain people have to do to like compensate for people's lack of, in the ring sometimes. And I definitely saw that here. But yeah, so Willow won. It was great. Her family was there, got that cool moment, but Mercedes, of course, came out and everyone freaked out, kind of ruined the moment. And like, the commentary team was like, oh, Mercedes, this is rude. Like, this is kind of like, dampening on Willow's moment. So they're trying to hype it up. You know what I mean? And then of course this, they pointed to a picture and it's Double or Nothing, Willow versus Monet. And it's just great. Stokely had like a really fun, like, Chuck E. Cheese, here we come. Stokely is a treasure.
I agree with.
Yeah. And I love that. Chris Statlander came out to celebrate, and I thought it scared the shit out of me because she was wearing black and pink. And it was just like more black than pink. And I was like, ooh. And like the way she was like standing in the corner, I thought it was gonna be like a heel turn. I was just like, what is happening? But it like ended up just being a big hug sandwiched between Stokely and Chris. And I was just like, oh, okay. Whew. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen eventually because Chris, is going to get jealous and want the title, all that fun stuff. But yeah,
Willow's
great.
very sweet. Willow's very sweet.
Oh, I love Willow. We did a little training thing with her. It's just great.
Just as and when Mercedes came out, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't care. And I have a problem with the fact that I didn't care. Like, I didn't feel anything for her coming out. One, because we said it was predictable. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. But there is something off about what they're doing to present. I love the fact the crowd was in it when she came out saying, see it. But there's something about it that's just not clicking for me in presentation and what they're doing. Because I want to be invested in this. I want to care that Mercedes is there, but I don't. And I don't know if it's me or if it's just not what they're presenting isn't really selling it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the same upfront, we kind of this conversation of like, why did you bring them out so long ago and then wait this long to have a match? And it's like, it's been the same kind of promos.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I we have this thing where we're like, oh, they need to stretch the story and like build anticipation. And then, but like, there's certain moments to do it, right? Like, there's like a nuance to it. It's not just like black and white. And when you do something like this, it's just weird. Like you could have debuted her like you did Will Ospreay and then had her go away, but instead you're bringing her back every week to do promos because you want that ratings bump. And then the promos are the same.
Yeah.
And I love Mercedes.
Yeah.
I love her to death.
Yeah.
However, her promo game is not top notch.
Say it.
Her promo game is not top notch. Her wrestling's amazing. Her looks are amazing. Her presentation's amazing. Her promo is not top notch. It is very slow, exaggerated, elongated. Words are elongated. And, you do that over and over again, week to week to week without the wrestling. And then you start really pinpointing like, wow, she's really not that good on promo.
We need the wrestling. That's what it is. They're not doing a good job telling the story.
Yeah.
To build her up. And there's no wrestling.
Yeah.
I know you want to make her a star attraction, you make her first match this thing to watch, but there's no wrestling.
Yeah.
The one thing that we loved about Sasha more than anything was the wrestling.
Yeah.
Now you're giving the promo work in AEW and ain't on par.
Yeah.
It hasn't been. So
but there's a story there.
Yeah.
There is the story. But the thing is like they're not cultivating it right. They're just saying the same things. Oh, in Willow and Mercedes, that was Mercedes' last match was with Willow. And it's like, well, it was a 4-way. Wasn't really specifically with Willow. So they're missing key points. They're not playing like the footage, even though they're doing the footage for Will Ospreay from New Japan, but they won't do it for Mercedes and Willow. So it's very confusing to me how they're like picking and choosing which footage from different promotions for certain wrestlers. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you should be replaying that moment that Mercedes got injured.
Yep. You should be
replaying that.
In all of this.
Yes.
Like, they have the story. They're not doing a good job of telling the story. And I think that's really what it is. And that's why I don't care. I know the story. Like we talked about last week. I know the story. You know the story. We're inside the bubble. We understand. We get the nuances, but they are not doing a good job. They, as an AEW, are not doing a good job of really telling and selling the story and making us care.
Yeah. But when we get there, I'm going to love it. They're going to have an amazing match. I feel like there could be some tag teams in between. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there could be some squash matches you could put her in.
It's been a month and a half, and we haven't seen her wrestle yet. That's
man.
That's the issue.
Like, build her up.
Issue. Yeah.
For the people who don't know Mercedes, they know Sasha, but they don't know Mercedes.
Exactly.
And some people don't even know who that is at all. It's just the girl with colorful hair who calls herself the CEO. You know, like, build her up. Let her have the squash matches. You know, like, don't do the Jade thing. Don't let her have fucking, 6 months of squash matches. But, like, have her have a couple. Like, hit her fucking signature. Oh, I guess she did hit her signature, on a couple of run-ins. So there was a little bit of wrestling, but it wasn't wrestling. You know what I mean?
Like you said.
And some of those, like, looked a little kind of botched.
For real, you should have had her come in, have her wrestle like some B-level, C-level Selena Deebs. Maybe what is her name? God, what's her name? I forget her name. She's an RH. Mercedes Martinez. Like, some people who
they would not let that happen. They would not let a squash happen to Mercedes Martinez.
No, not even a squash. Don't have her. Like, these are people who I'm like, okay, this would be good names in AEW for her to defeat. Not say squash them, but to have them defeat and show her skill in the ring to make it so you see that she's a formidable force. Take away the TBS title, whichever.
Well, I mean, I would also argue that squash matches would do that, and it also protects her because she is a huge investment,
right?
And you have to protect your investments, But like a squash match, Anna Jay, boom, could have had that. Mariah May
could have had that,
But like I know they're doing like their Mariah May storyline. But anyway, I want to get going and talk because I know we're going to get more Mercedes through the next couple of weeks, and we're going to continuously talk about her. The anticipation, like it, I understand why they did it, but at the same time, there's another way that they could have done it that would feel better.
Yes.
But anyway,
I agree.
How do you feel, Pat? I know you're a big Mercedes fan. And like, here we are talking shit about Mercedes.
No, I actually agree in a lot of different ways, which is sad to say. I don't want to dwell on this because we have so much to do before we get up out of here looking at the time. But there's more to follow. Yeah, I can't not disagree with you guys, which is just sad to say for me.
Yeah, it sucks. We'll see. The next match, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Yet again, amazing wrestling, amazing match. The lead up promo package was balls, man. It was balls. It was all about Kyle O'Reilly returning, but it was like, okay, but what's the history?
Right.
What the fuck is the history here? Because when Kyle O'Reilly first came out of AEW, Roderick Strong wasn't here. So no one knows that fucking history if they only watch AEW.
Yeah.
And what pisses me off is, a lot of their shit's NXT, so they can't use that footage. Completely understand. However, they were in ROH before. They had plenty of singles matches in ROH.
Yep.
And guess who owns ROH now? AEW. So why the fuck couldn't you get all that footage and put together a good fucking promo reel, man? Put some music behind it. Give us some emotion behind it. Like, give it to me. Like, yet again, what we said last week, like, the average viewer is going to look at this and be like, why are they fighting with all their might? Like, why is there so much passion here? I don't understand. Yet again, like I said, not going to take anything. Kyle O'Reilly, after being off for 2 years, amazing. A lot of technical wrestling, a lot of striking, a lot of submissions, a lot of crazy moves that you don't see in every match, right? And then, there was a weird Wardlow moment where Wardlow came out near the end, looked like he was going to interfere, didn't, kind of stepped back, but it kind of gave a little bit of an edge to Roderick because it distracted Kyle. And then, he fucking got the pin on Kyle. And then Adam Cole came back. I was really glad about that. I was like, Jesus Christ, where's Adam? I need Adam, because they kind of fell apart. And then Adam showed that he can stand up out of his wheelchair now and walk. And then he got in the ring and he kind of like stared down Wardlow from the back a little bit. So that whole little disintegration, kicking Wardlow out is going to happen. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy to have Adam back, because I think with Adam we'll get a little bit of the story back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yet again, this is one of the matches I do suggest watching the full thing as fans like we are, right? But obviously Roderick retained the Continental. Is it the Continental or International? Sorry. International Championship. Yeah, I mean, that's how I felt. Like I said, great match, but hey, story. Come on, man. Give it to me. I know the story, but I also, I didn't watch ROH back in like 2012, 13, 14. So like I would have loved to see their old fucking video, like when they first started.
Right.
But fuck me, I guess, right? Anyway, y'all have anything about that? Or
no, we didn't see again, man. We didn't catch the whole
but
event.
I agree with what you said, though.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about that mismanagement of the resources they have to really put together a compelling promo package to tell the story. Because people, look, this is the entertainment business. People want to be entertained, and the best way to tell the story is to show people, especially if you're watching on TV.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving right along, I know we got some time constraints here. So FCW Championship, Hook versus Chris Jericho. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I hated it. It sucked. I didn't like it. Chris Jericho has mad go away heat. No one likes him. Like they're literally chanting "Go home, Jericho, go home."
That's why I don't understand why they gave it to him.
Yeah, and then he won.
Like what the fuck?
It was very ECW, trash cans, kendo sticks. Taz got up, didn't really do anything. I like that it didn't make Hook look unstoppable, because that's how they kind of booked him in the very beginning. But yet again, it's too late. Like you waited too long to do this, and then you put it with Chris Jericho, which I think they thought was going to do something more, but it just makes people now realize Chris just has to be in something when he's not needed.
Yeah.
Chris needs a long break. Yeah. Chris Jericho needs to take a very long hiatus. Go back with Fozzy. Go tour. Go do your ship shit, your cruises, and just get away from television, man. Because
I whenever, because I know their new TV deal was supposed to be coming up. I hope that whenever they solidify that he'll go away. Because I'm thinking he's probably sticking around. That marquee name for the TV negotiation.
Yeah. But we'll see. But yeah, I don't want to spend enough time on that. The next match is the Thunder Rosa and Timeless Tony Storm match. Really cool match. They did a little bit of a promo, a sizzle reel for it, kind of recapping what happened, like, Tony splashing water on Thunder's face to wipe off the face paint. And there was a really cool intro from Thunder where she came out in like a mask instead of a face painted mask. So when they got face to face in the ring, she took the mask off and she didn't have all the face paint. I wish they would have elaborated what that meant in commentary. I wish they would have played a little bit more into the significance behind that.
Yeah.
And they just automatically assume that people know.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Like the face paint, like it's the Lucha Libre, but instead
no, I know that. Yeah, but like what you're saying. Yeah.
And it's just it's just like the small little new. What's that?
Well, yeah. Why the mask? What did it represent? Like it had to have represented something. So why didn't you explain that? Because I'm sure it has some sort of meaning.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, that was, that was her way of lucha. That was like her way of like protecting herself. And so when she came out in the regular mask without the face paint, it was like the reveal, like, I don't need the face paint.
Right.
Like it is not what is me. This is who I am. I'm still a wrestler. So I thought it was really nice. I understood it. But yet again, I think, what would a normal fan, like a regular casual fan, think of this? But anyway, great match. Really cool technical wrestling. It was great to see Thunder back in action. Like, I feel like Thunder's back in the groove.
That's
and
good.
Strong as hell. I hope she can stay healthy and not get injured through all this. But there was a couple of like cool spots with Mariah May coming out and then Deanna coming back out again and like beating Mariah's ass. So, that's going to continue. I think, and like also, Thunder kicked out of the Storm Zero, that tiny little fucking pile driver she does. I can't stand. I was really happy that she kicked out of it. But inevitably she lost to it. So yeah, I mean, that happened, and I don't know where it goes from here.
Next challenger, I guess.
Yeah, next challenger. We'll see what happens. No one came out and like attacked or anything, so I have no idea where it goes. So now they have to like start a story somewhere, I guess.
This is where I wanted Mercedes come out there. I know they want to play off the whole with Willow,
yeah.
But like, to me, Mercedes is bigger than the TBS champion.
I honestly wanted Britt to come out at the end of this, because we haven't seen Britt in
either
so
or.
long.
You know what I'm saying? I could see with Britt as well.
Yeah. And then also with Adam coming back, I thought that we were going to get Britt in that moment, because they also had their feud when she was with when Tony was with Paige and Ruby, and they were going against Britt and Jamie and what's the other one's name? I can't remember. Reba. There it is. But yeah, so I thought she was going to come back, but didn't. Maybe they do it in Dynamite. I don't know who else is there to challenge Tony. Yet again, love her dedication to the character. I still don't get it.
I don't think you'll ever get it, man. I love it.
I still don't get it.
We love it over here.
I love the dedication to the bit. Anyway, moving on.
I'm not a Rosa fan at all, so
I'm a big Thunder fan. I watched Thunder. Yeah,
I know y'all do. Thunder's never grabbed.
Yeah,
Thunder's just never like.
It's not. Thunder's not like a larger than life character.
Yeah.
But she just has a very interesting. I watch her in the Indies and Shimmer and everything like that, and then also her MMA career that she was doing for a little bit. I was just like, man, that's really like, it's awesome. But anyway, we want to keep moving here. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, bro, best match of the night has to be, bar none. 5 stars.
I heard one of the best matches of like.
Yes.
Like, there are people like really put it out there. Like, one of the best matches of all. Like, really.
Yes.
Of this decade. And the Swerve, because I'm a Swerve fan. That's why I want to see the win. Again, that's why I also didn't want to order, because I didn't want to be let down.
Yeah.
But so I'm I'm hyped about that. But the Ospreay Danielson, my Twitter blew the fuck up.
Bro, there was this amazing Busakai knee that Danielson did to Will when he kind of did the fucking rope stunner. Bro, it like you saw the knee hit his fucking jaw. Like, it was just like fatality, slow-mo, X-ray vision, breaking the jaw. I was just like, bro, like, they are just going at it. It was such a good fucking match. And it was just such good technical wrestling, so much intensity, so much passion. And and like, these are the kind of things where it's just like, okay, we know that there's not a big story here. This is like, the greatest of all time versus the greatest now,
right? Kind
of story. Like, I have to prove myself by beating the greatest, greatest wrestler ever, but I'm the greatest now. You know what I mean? Like, here and now, I'm the greatest. Like, you are the greatest of all time, of your time, but now it's my time. I love that. That's great. That's the true babyface mentality of, fighters, the people's champ wanting to fight. It's very, very easy to write that story, right? And obviously, being the person that Will Ospreay is with the flashy moves was great. At the end, he hits a Tiger Driver 91 and it like fucks up Bryan Danielson's shoulder. And we learned that as kayfabe, but he was just like, Bryan was just like, fuck, like, just like, you could hear him screaming "fuck." So I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if this is real or not." Like he didn't throw up the X, he was just screaming "fuck," and then Ospreay hit him with the hidden blade while he was screaming "fuck," and then got the pin. All while Don Callis is commentating and like, sees a deception, which we knew this was coming since Ospreay had his first match back with the Takeshita. They're elongating it. They're dragging it out, and I felt like it could have culminated here in a way, because Dynamite before he had his match with Claudio, and after he beat Claudio, of course, the rest of the family, Kyle Fletcher, Will Hobbs, Takeshita, came out to beat down Claudio. And Will Ospreay was physically shook and was just like, "Yo, well, like, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, like yelling at them, things like that. So the fact that they didn't do that again to Danielson doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like what was that for? Like, I understand the further the story, but how is this then furthering the story? And like, they're like, "Oh, well, he cares about his opponent, and that's what Don Callis hates." So he was checking on Danielson because he was injured, and that's what Don Callis hates. I'm like, okay, then Don Callis should have called out someone and beat down fucking Will Ospreay right there and had the turn at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You had your amazing match, great. Now continue the story. But like, I feel like they prioritize the wrestling match over the story way too much. Like, probably people would have been pissed, like, "Oh, they had a great match, why did they ruin it?" No, that's continuing the story. That builds more heat for the heel, because they interrupted and ruined a great match. And like, they didn't ruin it, it's after the match. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like have someone cheat to have Ospreay win, because that would ruin the match, in my opinion. But afterwards, like, there's just ways to go about it, and I think that they just had a missed opportunity there. But A's all around for the wrestling match. Definitely go watch that, y'all.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah. If you guys don't want to talk any further about that, we can go to the next one, which is the co-main event, and that is FTR versus Young Bucks. This is the fourth iteration of this match.
Don't care.
Fourth iteration of this match.
All I know is Jack Perry came out. How do we feel about that?
Fuck that guy. First of all, there was CM Punk chants off jump during this match, which, gotta love it.
Yeah.
This match was nothing special. It really wasn't. It was a lot of callbacks to the previous three, some kind of like, nostalgic, I guess they're trying to go for, but it's not really nostalgic because it's not like it happened 10 years ago. It happened a couple of years ago or a year ago, not even a year ago. Some of the callbacks. Some of the spots were, a little crazy. Ladder spots are crazy. Like, every time, the Bucks get into a ladder match, it's crazy spots on ladders, but it's the same shit they always do. It's the same spots they always do. It's the pile drivers on top of the ladder that's in between the apron and the barricade. It's the tope, over the fucking rope and onto someone who's on a table. It's the same spots, man. And they're still entertaining in the moment, but like, then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, that's exactly what they did last time. And it's just like, y'all did a fourth iteration. You have to like one up your last one, and you don't.
Right. And
I guess that's the point, is because you're heels now, and you're not trying to have 5-star matches anymore, because you're not these babyface, the super kick party anymore. You're the EVPs, the heels. But yeah, it didn't make sense. And then they Jack Perry ran out when I think Cash was up on the ladder with a mask, like dressed as a fan, and just like knocked over the ring. And the security jumped in the ring and like pinned him against the turnbuckle and like unmasked him. And it's just him smiling. And there was like mixture of Cry Me a River and CM Punk chants. I will say this. They are taking the low-hanging fruit and they're running with it, which is great for the story, and it is a story. However, it is just funny to me that your story comes based off of someone who's no longer at your company and who y'all can't stand, because Jack Perry is, best friends with the Young Bucks. And I thought it was funny. I thought the scapegoat thing when he went to New Japan was like he was a scapegoat. He was Young Buck's scapegoat to get CM Punk out. That's how I took it.
Right.
So, but like he's still the scapegoat, even though he's back and teaming with Young Bucks and helping them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. At least that's how my mind took it, as a scapegoat. You
No,
know,
I agree.
like he wasn't a scapegoat for CM Punk. He was a scapegoat for the Bucks to get CM Punk out. That's
Right.
how a scapegoat works. I don't know if people understand that concept. But yeah, I don't care.
Exactly.
You know,
This is why
now,
we don't care.
the only thing that this tells me is out of the 4 matches, they're now tied up 2-2, so they're going to have a 5th at some point. Yay! Again, I don't give a shit, man. Like y'all ruined it. You ruined it. And now we have these fuckers that are 3-time tag team champs as EVP heels. So like you could have built up so many other people to have these belts. Like other people needed these belts to propel them. You did not. And you're thinking it's because it's a story. It's a stupid story that you're using CM Punk around the center of without naming him. It just makes me laugh. Makes me laugh. But yeah, you can skip this. You can literally skip this. I don't give a shit. This was boring.
All right, let's talk about what we all care about.
There you go. So Swerve versus Joe, baby. I have some weird feelings about this.
How was the match, man?
I have some weird feelings. Match was great. It was a little corny that he came out in like a Killmonger inspired, Amazon bodysuit. Like it could definitely been better. The suit, I mean, but I mean the crowd was hype as fuck. They were waiting, like it was, fucking Swerve's house chants the whole fucking night, the whole match. It was great. Like a lot of good spots. It was very intense. They did Joe's kind of walk away thing from the top rope, you know what I mean? Like the little nope walk away. But Swerve caught on and didn't actually do anything, so he just jumped and landed and kind of like walked up behind Joe as he was like walking away and like surprised him. So I thought that was like a cool spot to have since no one's really done that. And yeah, I mean it was like a lot of coquina clutches, a lot of drama, trying to get Swerve that win, and it was a good match. But yet again, it's very hard to have a good match after that Will Ospreay match. And that's what was fighting against Swerve. It was a great moment to have, like the build up, like, like we said, he's been swerved out of the title, picture a couple times, and now, full circle, he's back. I mean, it's very much like what happened to Cody, like, you got yoinked out of the picture. You got kind of screwed over. We thought it was your time because you're so over and hot. And then they kind of like rip it away. But also, like we said, I mean, Joe's probably going back to Hollywood. So this was the time. But yeah, I feel good about it. I've been on Twitter and I've been seeing like a lot of old things pop up about Swerve that's kind of made me be like, oh man, fuck.
Yeah, your girl Maki posted something that I was like, oh shit. I haven't watched it or listened to it yet, but
yeah,
don't make me hate Swerve.
He made a rap pretty much dissing black women. I mean, he's a dude from Seattle, and I think he's with a white woman. And so yeah, so he made a rap about that, and then he also like targeted like a black podcast group who ranked him lower than in like top 50 black wrestlers than he thought he should be ranked, and kind of blew up their spot. And they're just like, there's a bunch of other lists that come out that also have you very low, but they're ran by white people and you don't call them out. So what's going on? So obviously being a white man in this, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Like I can't really fully understand the gravity of it. But I can see that there is a nuance in how people are feeling divided on this, because also he feels like one of the people who probably didn't want to claim blackness. And then when it came time for the first black champion, he kind of used it for the story.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to,
To
I'm
be
just saying
real,
what people are
to
saying.
be 100% real, because we've been enjoying the Swerve storyline.
Yeah.
But then, when Maki posted, I'm like, man, I know I'm gonna start because I know Maki bring the realness.
Yeah.
I read this, I'm gonna be upset.
Yep.
And then it got me thinking. I haven't read it yet, and I haven't looked at all the stuff, but I can't lie that it doesn't surprise me based off what I know of the cat.
Yeah.
What we know just in general, right?
Yeah.
Just off cuff. But also, oh my God, I had a point that I'm losing. Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I was bothered with how he was quick to just leave Hit Row and not fight for his peoples, and why Hit Row never kind of came with him and did stuff with them, and then they went back, and then there was just I don't know. There's a loyalty there that I'm like surprised didn't go down, but maybe there's a reason why. So in a way, it didn't feel surprising because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he had a little squad. They had the podcast and everything going on. But then he kind of left it to do his own thing. Okay, maybe your brother wants us to do his own thing, kind of get away. But it just a little was awkwardness there. And then, and like you're saying, and all this stuff happening.
And obviously,
it doesn't quite surprise me in different ways too.
Yeah. And obviously the wrestler's different from the character, but there's still like that nuance. Like I carry it with everybody. And like anyone has sexual assault allegations against them, I carry it against them. That's why there's specific people I don't like. I mean, I believe Will Ospreay was also Me Too, and that's why I'm, when he got signed, I was like, great wrestler, not a great human. Same with Austin Theory, so it's just like you hear about these things and you're just like, I'm trying to have this degree of separation. Yeah.
Like I want to step in the name of love, but I can't anymore for R. Kelly.
Bro,
that's my fucking song.
I get caught saying so many songs and I forget that it's R. Kelly. And Maki would be like, what are you doing? I'm like,
it hurts, bro.
R. Kelly? Fuck.
It hurts.
It does. So, and like, of course, also we're big E fans, and Vince is the worst one of them all.
Hello.
And obviously I hate Vince, but I can separate his product
exactly
from it. But I can't separate his character from it. Even if he came on TV to play a character, I'd be like, fuck that guy, through and through, because I mean that's his real name. Like he's been such a real, he's been himself so long on TV that he can't really play a character anymore, in my opinion.
Exactly.
But so there's some complications here with this title win and everything like that. I'm
happy that it happened, but I am feeling conflicted
at the end of the day. I am happy that happened, but like also, my wife was saying it, like Ricky Starks has been there the whole time.
Wait, it's Ricky Starks.
I think he got injured again. I think he got injured, or like I don't know, something happened. I haven't seen any dirt sheets about it. Like I saw him at For the Culture and everything WrestleMania weekend, and he wasn't like, he wasn't in a sling, he wasn't in a cast, he wasn't on crutches.
So I've seen pictures of him from WrestleMania weekend online, and I'm like,
doesn't look injured, but we don't know. It could be something. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that they're like, he was essentially one of the pillars, and they just kind of like floundered him. Then they put him a big bill, and they gave him the belts for big bill. But that
weird
was
team.
That was so weird. Yeah. And it's like you should. Ricky is so over and so explosive and great on the mic, and like he should have had that championship first, in my opinion.
What's happening is I know fucking Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the man now at WWE. Let me work what I can do over here. I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be mad at the brother.
I wouldn't be mad either.
Hey, we saw Sean Spears show up at NXT.
Yeah, Sean Spears is over there, and he's producing shit now too. So he gets like, he has his in on like producing. So when he wants to stop wrestling, he can just be a producer at WWE and get that paycheck and no longer break his body. So I mean, all those things, to say. At the end of the day, Dynasty, great match, loved it, or great card rather. Little small things here and there, but like it was a very fun pay-per-view. I was pleased with the amount of money I spent, and I was thoroughly entertained. Like I said, still just an overall wrestling fan at the end of the day. I'm not here for one side or the other, one promotion or the other, but I critique everything I watch.
Yeah.
But they're all my opinions though. You know what I mean? Like they're my opinion.
Respect.
Like, other people might enjoy only wrestling, and that's great. And I think majority of the IWC enjoys just great wrestling.
Yeah.
But like for me, that story is what makes me remember the things.
I love it.
Like WrestleMania, we didn't have slobber knocker after slobber knocker. There was a couple of good matches, but like I remember the stories culminating and ending and starting.
I think also the thing that drew me from not pulling the trigger on Dynasty was it just kind of happened, and it just again I wasn't. Yeah. They didn't pull me with all the stories, even though I know there are certain things that I wanted to see, and we just discussed, as you were going through the card, but like I don't know, man. Unlike the previous one, and just everything that has been happening, which we've discussed already on the show, I don't know. It just let me see where we're gonna go from here, and we'll save that for next week because we did a lot of AEW, but I really quickly want to go just talk about some WWE stuff before we get up out of here, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah. We can talk E or the TNA stuff that happened.
We got some losses over at WWE. I'm curious, how do y'all feel? I feel, you know what? I'm gonna miss them. I would have liked to have. I think we missed the timing on them because the Vince McMahon regime kind of messed them up. But let's just run through just some quick points. Jinder Mahal had the great promo. I guess with The Rock.
Yeah, that was the most surprising, actually.
Yeah, that they weren't going to build something off of that. He was let go. We got Veer. And quite a few of the Indian wrestlers were let go.
Yeah, and this year was their whole team was let go. Zia Lee.
It felt like they were going to build them up. Yep.
Yeah,
a lot of POC got released,
and that's also kind of what I also kind of was curious what you guys feel about that, because I was seeing some other outlets kind of talking about that, and I'm like, that is kind of there, but also at the same time, as a fan, we've been watching it. It didn't really fit in with what they got going on either.
They weren't doing anything with them.
So I'd rather see them shine elsewhere in different ways.
Right.
So how do you feel about the Zion Quinn, Zia Lee?
Oh, I forgot Zion Quinn. Fuck.
Yeah.
Von Wagner and NXT, who were there building up.
Yeah, just came out. Yeah,
there's some today? Wild ones that happened.
Wait, Von Wagner got released?
Yeah, today. Ooh. Yeah, that came out today.
Yeah.
How you feel about all that?
Fuck. He was in an active story.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I feel. The Jinder Mahal doesn't shock me. I definitely feel like that them as a faction could have done great things, like against like the Street Profits and Bobby, Final Testament. But like they just didn't take a chance on him, and I don't know why, because he definitely knocked out that promo.
And they had so much promo on them too.
Yeah, they did. They did, especially Veer. Man. Veer had like the sing when he was about to do a singles thing, and like I don't know what happened, but it's definitely accredited to the Vince McMahon era. And I think that funk just stuck. You know what I mean? Same with Zia Lee. Like they kind of wheeled her out once, had a squash match for her, and then nothing really came of it. And I don't know what that judgment was, but I hope Zia Lee goes somewhere that she's properly utilized and properly allowed to like showcase her abilities, because she's amazing. Jinder, and like this is something I was saying, I was like, they're going back to Saudi, not India. And I hate saying that, but that's how the E views things.
Yep.
If they were going back to India at any point in time in the next 5 years, they would have kept Jinder in all of them. But they're not. Yeah. Because they're solely focused on
Indian talent on the roster, if I remember correctly now.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Zion Quinn, it sucks, but
it's wasted potential. Yeah, he was so good at NXT. Him and Zia Lee, they were so good at NXT. Just and never knew what to do. But you know what though? I hate it when people get released.
Yeah.
But in this climate of wrestling, they have a really good shot for thriving outside of the, and that's what I'm hoping for. Especially, not saying especially any of them. I think all of them could do really well in the Indies. They could, short-term deal with the TNA. I kind of don't want anybody to go to AEW because there's so many damn people in AEW at the moment. And the same thing will happen. You just kind of get lost. But it's a lot of opportunities out there. So I am not as like, oh, that sucks in the way that I would have maybe 4 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for all of them.
Yeah.
Zion Quinn, I
Yeah,
thought Zion
definitely.
Quinn was probably going to end up in the bloodline somewhere because he is Samoan.
Speaking of bloodline, what I do, we I don't think we've really discussed.
Oh, Tama Tonga?
We got Tama Tonga now,
Oh,
and if you've caught the dirt sheets
yes.
Got
with this
Jacob.
NXT draft, Jacob Fatu will be
Yeah.
in the mix.
Yeah.
How
He's
y'all
supposed to
feeling?
debut this week from what
The
I was
next
looking
evolution
earlier.
of the bloodline
Yeah.
is happening, people,
The
and I'm
draft is starting on
excited.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
That
y'all
starts
feeling about
SmackDown.
all that?
I have my idea of booking, but I'll let Webstyle go because I've done a lot of talking.
Look, at the end of the day, I just love it. We talked a lot about what are they going to do after Roman loses. Well, we're seeing it, and this is where I say it's nice being inside the bubble because we knew who the hell Tama Tonga was, we knew who the hell Jacob Fatu is, and I this is something I want to say to you guys, and I don't know if you feel this way. You know, we've all been watching wrestling. We've all watched wrestling with the kids. I feel like it's even more exciting because we know how it works now. It's so much more exciting, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. Like even Tama Tonga coming out last week before, it was like, oh, this is amazing. Even though we knew he was coming, they did it. They did like, I'm loving this. I am so loving this booking, and I want to see how they do Jacob Fatu. Are they going to do that whole 2 separate bloodline? I'm excited because I want to see how it goes. And again, no titles involved. I love it.
You don't need it.
No.
You don't need it. And like Maki, my wife, was just like, this is great. She was like, they're gonna have like a custody for the wise man match. It's like the custody for
About to
Dominic
go
love
down. It
back in
feels
the day.
like it.
And that's
I
what
love it.
I feel like that is the story, right? Like, he's being held hostage essentially, like breaking his phone, not letting him talk to Roman. And like my whole thing, like I wanted it to be that 2 bloodline thing, and I want The Rock to be the one that's behind, getting Solo away, breaking away, and then I want Roman to come back and get the Usos back together, and then bring in honorary Us Sami Zayn to help them defeat the evil bloodline.
Survivor Series War Games.
Exactly
Bro,
that,
Just
man.
amazing
Like, so
storylines can just come from all of this right
yeah,
now.
like I know a lot of people are confused, and I think especially with the Tonga thing, that was very random. And also Solo kind of now like talking on the mic and everything, like a lot of people are a little shook, which I can see is a little, okay, this is a little weird. Like, who knew that Solo had this? But that's like the heel turn thing, you know what I mean? So I'm very excited to see where it goes, and let them cook,
Exactly.
because we've seen what they cook and we eat it up.
Right.
All right, y'all.
Real quick before we go, we
Exactly.
had Moose won, but Broken Matt Hardy showed up at the end, and also we had the return of Mike Santana to TNA as well. So I think we all saw that one coming as far as Mike Santana, but I don't think anybody expected Matt Hardy to show up.
And Sammy.
How do you feel about all that,
Oh,
Eldon?
yeah,
Because
and
you're the
Sami
TNA.
Callihan, that's right. I was hyped, and I told you somebody was super hyped when I showed them because that's how they cut their teeth. Broken Matt Hardy was their introduction. They were doing the laugh, and they loved it when they were yay high. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. Again, I like TNA, and I like how they do a good job integrating long-term booking and short-term booking with people coming for 6 months or so. I'm really enjoying that. Sami Callihan is back. Interested in how they do what they do with him. And again, much like the E, they're doing a very good job of telling stories that don't involve everybody having a title or chasing a title.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad Mustafa retained though.
Yeah, I'm glad about that too.
Yeah.
But he's like 31-0, I think, from what I was
saw on something crazy.
IG. Yeah, it's great.
Quick question for you. Do you think that Matt, when he debuted at AEW, he was the first broken Matt Hardy? Do you think he stopped the gimmick real quick because he knew he wasn't going to stay at AEW and that eventually he'd go back to TNA?
No, I think he stopped it because nobody was there. No, I mean, no. Remember when Matt came into AEW, it was during the pandemic. That broken thing didn't hit the same way with nobody there.
That's true.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay. It wasn't just a dig. Okay.
Oh no. Well, you look at that reaction at TNA when he showed up and he was Broken Man Hardy. Look, that character has been the most over he has ever been.
Yes.
And even though it was under Vince, the WWE still did it because the people loved it, and that's the only reason went as far as it did. Yeah, but hey, still, because he who shall not be named had to trademark it. Get that, but still, people loved it, and they got it over.
Yeah,
same thing here. So I know this will be a short time, not a long time for Matt being in this whole thing, but it's exciting to see is something different, but also it allows TNA to really elevate somebody else. Mike Santana just came at. I mean, he beat Macklin, who was a former world champion. Again, they still got Nick Dem up there and whatever program they're running with him. They have a lot of parts, and then Sammy's back.
Yep.
Jeff go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is Jeff rolling with him too?
Jeff's contract's up in June.
Because I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I heard sometime this spring. So and apparently they didn't tack on time for injury. So it's a possibility. No, from what I saw something today, and somebody was talking about that. And apparently the reporting is, I think it was from Sean Rossap, that they did not tack on time for injury. So his contract is up sometime in May. This spring, maybe summer. So June may be a good time frame.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
So things can change.
Brother Nero.
Yeah.
And I don't know about if y'all, because you watch as much wrestling and you check out a lot of wrestling stuff as well. I've been getting some weird like recommendations. Do you know that Jeff Hardy is also like a singer too?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I started getting check out the Jeff Hardy singing page and like what the hell?
There was a singing page, but I knew he was a singer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay, everybody, so go check that out. Check out Jeff Hardy, the singer. I haven't listened to any of his stuff yet, but I'm like, what a weird recommendation. And just he has like his own little videos too. And some of them are just like side profile as he sings when I was like, what? Anyway, let's close it out, man. There you go, y'all. Dynasty. Is this a new dynasty in AEW?
We'll see.
I'm a little afraid because of just everything that's gone down. I feel funky.
Let them cook. We're gonna let the bloodline thing cook. Let them cook. Let's see what we're eating. I want some steak and potatoes.
Yeah, but at least we got WWE killing it right now. I gotta say, never thought the Vince McMahon era is done. We're in the Paul Levesque era, and it just is some good shit right now. We have 3 amazing black women, the big 3, that are just so phenomenal. And I do not want them to be ever broken up, but we know it'll happen eventually. Just I want to ride it out as long as we can. Because they look like they're having so many good times right now.
They do. The video of the live events.
Yeah.
Like they're happy.
Jade looks like she is living her best life, and I love it for them right now. Yeah. It's just so good.
I say that about everybody. It seems like everybody over there is everybody comes across as so happy with what's going on. It is such a drastic difference in the attitude to move, especially hell, you see CM Punk and how he is over there.
Right.
He is
crotchety old man is just cheesing.
Yes. Like that it's amazing the atmosphere that's over there now. And I think that it translates into the product.
Agreed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, as of this recording, we want to head over to watch Raw, and we have so many other things. So there you go. Webster Style, what you got going on coming up soon this week?
Well, right now it's already out. You got the game bites for Lego Drive 2K, Webster Style, also NRW. So watch that there. We're looking at 2K games. Next up would be the Quarry. It'll be up probably sometime this week after I finish everything. As well as I just dropped also a reaction to Valentino's 2024-2025 menswear collection. So that's up on the site as well. And there'll be a couple other things, but it's a busy week personally, so it may not be as much content this week.
A lot going on. We are booties. Sean Mongo, what's happening at the DC Brow?
Ah, man. So our next show just launched. This is in June. We're taking May off just for a break from the shows. But We Have Booties is our anime arc. So it's going to be all anime performances and stuff like that. So this is going to be really fun. We did this show back before we were at Brow, like pre-pandemic. We did our anime show. It's called We Have Booties. So now we're trying to revive it. It's great. We just launched it on Saturday. We only have like a few VIP tickets left already.
Wow.
So we're almost sold out. They go very quick. So
Congrats,
yeah, this
bro.
is June 15th. If I can get the date shown there. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that big stretch. Right behind my big ass back. But yeah, it's DC Brow. Check us out. Just go to Eventbrite and look up We Have Booties. We're the only one. So
I just care about booties.
Yay! Anime booties too.
Hey,
There you go, y'all. Show love to Sean Mongold and Webster Style. Go do all the things. Check out their shows. Good times. Your boy KP, man. You already on the NRW. You see all the stuff around here. Ton of interviews. We just busy. And yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot it. I must have hit another turnbuckle wrong. Anyway, let's get up out of here, y'all. In a 1, 2, 3. Peace. Until next time.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no, that fits right.
Boy, and I'm coming hard.